Good evening, my friends. It is November 6th, 2018, the actual midterm election day. A correction from yesterday. I thought it was yesterday, but it was actually today. So I guess we're still waiting on the results of that. For those of you interested, but we are going to be talking about a little bit of weather and then something pretty interesting I found that there's not much talk going on about. But first of all, let's talk about our temperatures. We can clearly see a little bit warmer in the northeast today than it was yesterday, but we could still see this big dip in the jet stream here, allowing all that cold air to come down to the Midwest, the entire West, basically. The entire top half of the country is basically in 40s, 30s, and even 19s. We are dropping below 20 degrees in some areas. A lot of wind going on around the Great Lakes. I have a chart here to show you that. We also have winter weather advisories going on currently right now in Colorado, right in this area here, just leaving Colorado. And then we got Nebraska, South Nebraska, and then Northwest Kansas, all under winter weather advisories. So there is snowfall going on in these areas. That is part of that dip that has been coming down this way, and it's kind of interacting with the Great Lakes now too. So we have some wind advisories over the Great Lakes, which is also aiding in what will be soon lake effect snow around the Buffalo areas and Watertown. So we're going to be talking a lot about that in this area. I mean, not over here by Michigan, rather. Excuse me. So, anyway, with that said, this is what passed over last night. We were talking about the tornado situation going from Louisiana all the way up through Tennessee and Kentucky. That we had more touchdowns. There was more damage reported. I will put that all into another video. As of right now, at frame 200, we could see a little bit of some severe weather brewing around the Louisiana area through Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and then moving up through Georgia and South Carolina. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. This is actually expected to be that second round that comes up and then begins to do that low pressure spin over the northeast. So we got to see what happens with that when it mixes with this cold air that is still coming down from Canada. So we have a lot to watch there. And really quick, yesterday we spoke of Tropical Storm Xavier in the Pacific. We said it would be a non-threat, and it's still looking to be that way as we see it as now remnants of Xavier. It is breaking up, still continuing to head west away from land, which is a good thing. And now I want to bring your attention to something pretty interesting I found while searching through the earthquake data maps. I do this every day. I check the daily earthquakes, and then sometimes I go back 7 days just to see what's been going on. And I noticed in the Nevada area, this is Nevada here, mostly earthquakes are marked by these circles here. So if you click on one, you could see the information down in the bottom left-hand corner here that it was a 2.5 earthquake, 25 kilometers north of Parawawan, Utah. So this is how they mark earthquakes, but this one here is a diamond. Now, when you click on it, it says magnitude 2.6 explosion, 13 kilometers south-southeast of McGill, Nevada. So as we zoom in here, this was an explosion called, literally said explosion by the USGS, and there's two towns both within 10 miles of this explosion. We have McGill right up here, which is about 8 miles away, 13 kilometers. And then we have a town called Ely right down in this area, which is about 10 miles away. So two towns within the vicinity of this explosion, which I figured would have some sort of explanation or news on this. So I went and I looked at their local newspapers. And what's interesting is their last post, even on any town information or anything like that, was on November 2nd. They haven't posted any articles really since then, but as I scroll through these articles, I haven't seen anything that has to do with that explosion that caused a 2.6 magnitude reading. So that's pretty powerful, especially if it's a 0.0 kilometer in depth, which means it was right on the surface of the ground, causing a 2.6 reading. I would think that would be heard or felt, or at least someone would notice that within those two towns. And the only thing I could find on this entire Eli Times website, which actually covers McGill as well, as far as a local newspaper, was a controlled burn scheduled for that exact day, November 2nd, when this explosion happened. The only thing is that this controlled burn was not in the same area as where this explosion took place. In fact, it probably couldn't have even been close enough to cause it. So I don't think that this controlled burn or any of this had anything to do with the explosion. I believe the reason for this controlled burn was to help the migration of a certain animal, maybe the mountain rocky elk. No, actually, that's not true. There's something. Oh, here we go. The bighorn sheep habitat, and provide aspen regeneration. So basically, they're doing a controlled burn to aid in these animals being able to migrate and get to where they need to be in order to reproduce and stay healthy and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, we've had an explosion, like a literal explosion in between McGill and Eli here. This is a hazard map I look at frequently. It gives you different hazards that are happening all along the U.S., chemical spills, earthquakes, tsunami warnings, basically anything you can think of. And it does go back in time, which is why I like it. You can go back like a month, sometimes even farther. And I went back as far as I could, and not a single thing popped up in this area where this explosion was. So we have the USGS reporting an explosion. Their words, not mine, quoted an explosion between McGill and Eli, right in these valleys here in this mountain range. Again, Utah is known, or Nevada rather, is known for bomb testing, but that was more back in the 50s and stuff like that. And I brought up another hazard map as well to check it out, and there is nothing in that area that we can see. Here's McGill, here's Eli, so that explosion would have been right here. And I even pulled it up on Google Earth just to show you exactly how far away from the road this was, which is very interesting. This is the exact coordinates of where that explosion was. You can match it up with the earthquake chart. Let's see here. There we go. So here is the explosion here. Here is McGill. Down here is Eli. And then you bring up Google Earth, and you can see the same exact thing. As I zoom out here, you could see the town of McGill right there, and then right here is Eli. So both of these towns are the two closest. Now again, the newspaper did not report on this, but nonetheless, there it is, guys. We're talking 400 yards away from a road. There was a major explosion causing a 2.6 magnitude type earthquake out of nowhere, and there's zero explanation. And by zero, I mean I did research. Like I said, I went to the newspaper, I typed in McGill, Nevada explosions, and all I'm seeing is the records that are kept by the USGS. So this one says 2.6 explosion, 13 kilometers south-southeast of McGill, Nevada. Basically, they just talk about it as an earthquake, and then that's it. No other information. There have been explosions in the past. This one's in 1993. Smokestack exploded. There's a lot of mines in Nevada. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, but what I'm trying to say here is there's no explanation of why this 2.6 registered magnitude explosion happened in the middle of Nevada. So that is very interesting to me. If anybody out there has any information on this that's from that area, or maybe can dig in a little bit and research a little more than I have, I can't seem to find any explanation, or anyone even trying to explain, or anyone talking about it, let alone trying to figure out what happened. But I pulled up the Wikipedia page for the past Nevada testing going on, and yeah, Nevada was a big testing area for bombs. Is that still the case? I mean, why would they be blowing up bombs or testing bombs so close to roads that people could be traveling on? So just a little bit of a mystery explosion, hence the thumbnail. So I figured that would be interesting to you guys. Anyone that can find some information on this, that would be great. Because, you know, this type of stuff interests me. I'm going to be doing a lot more of this on this channel. I want to not shy away from weather. Obviously, weather will always be my go-to. It's one of my biggest passions in my life, but I want to expand this channel. I want to get more stories out there, more interesting news stuff that happens. And this is one of those things that really interests me, is when you get something like this and then no explanation. I love digging into things and researching and stuff. I got Caroline all over this right now, looking to see what what is going on in this area that no one's talking about it. That's just very rare for me to understand. So that is the whole ball of wax, I think, for this video. Again, the local Eli Times newspaper, the closest people to this explosion, have not said a word about it, besides a controlled burn that they scheduled for the same day that that explosion happened. As far as the time goes, for those of you that read UTC time, this occurred on Friday, November 2nd at 23:06 UTC time. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Let's see if we can get some comments down there, see if we can figure out what this was or what caused it, or if it's just something natural that is kind of normal. It's rare when you see those diamonds, and then when the USGS actually admits it's an explosion, you wonder what caused it. Just like me. All right, guys, thanks for listening. I hope everyone has a great night. I will see you later tonight or early tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.